So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you here. And as a previous video already indicated, actually the reason why we gathered here is the inauguration of the quantum computer VLQ. We call it in Czech VLK, what means also wolf in English. And it's a really very special day because this is the first quantum computer in the Czech Republic, which will be publicly available. And in addition, it is also one of the first quantum computers acquired by the EuroHPC for the whole European community. My name is Vít Vondrák. I am acting as a director of the IT for Innovation National Supercomputing Center here at VSB Technical University of Ostrava. And I would like to share some of my thoughts about IT for innovations, about the history of the computing technology here, and of course about also quantum computing. Just let me remind you that IT for innovation was established, it's already 14 years ago. And the very first goal was just to acquire and operate Solomon supercomputer, which was ranked number 40 in the world, most powerful supercomputers. And that was really very important milestone in Czech, let's say, computing environment, because we provided thanks to the Solomon computer, access to really one of the most powerful supercomputer to our research and also industrial community. And of course, this way we simply somehow supported the progress of the numerical simulations, of the data analytical works on the supercomputers in the Czech Republic, and specifically also the collaboration with industrial partners in this field. As IT for innovation, we continuously modernize our infrastructure. And in 2019, we came with the idea that it's also very important to support the AI communities, because even that time we simply indicated that the artificial intelligence might be really the driver of the future science, of the future industrial collaboration and so on. So that time, we acquired also very specifically focused system DGX2 for AI workloads. It was the, let's say, first supercomputing for AI community in the Central and Eastern Europe. And we continued. In 2021, it was really a big step for us, because we were one of the first hosting entity which acquired the EuroHPC supercomputer Carolina. And this was really very important, because 35% was owned by or is still owned, because Carolina is still in operation, and is still owned by the EuroHPC, and 65% served to our national communities. And that time we also really very massively accelerated the computing power of this supercomputer by the GPU cards, simply supporting our AI community that time. Today, actually, the Carolina is very, very intensively used by the AI communities. It's not enough, we have to purchase the new system. So I think it was really good work just to install such a system here. And I would like to say the very most important moment in our history was just accepting the participation in the LUMI consortium. LUMI consortium led by the Finland, which purchased and still operates one of the most powerful supercomputers in the world. In time of the installation, it was the most powerful supercomputer in Europe, and third most powerful supercomputing in the world. And it's still really important part of our infrastructure, providing access also to our research and industrial communities to this computer. But it was not only access to such a very unique supercomputer. It's also the very important platform just for the cooperation. And it was the LUMI consortium which allows also to establish the LUMI AI factory within the EuroHPC. And we are, again, the part of this consortium. And what's the more important for today, actually, on the footprint of this consortium, we also established the LUMI-Q consortium with the goal just to purchase the quantum computer, shared quantum computer among EuroHPC and LUMI-Q consortium partners. So today, we open a completely new era of the IT for innovations. Because with the arrival of the VLQ quantum computer, the really first Czech quantum computer acquired by the EuroHPC and the LUMI-Q consortium, we are really entering the completely new generation of computing technology not only in our center, I would say. I think also in the Czech Republic, I think also in the Europe. And I think that actually we might be competitive to the rest of the world because I think that we are very good, and it's very important in this direction. I think it's very important that the computer is made by Europe, by the IQM company, and that's something what, let's say, contributes to sovereignty of the European technology. So, let me just mention that LUMI-Q consortium is for us really important because it's not only the source of the funding of our quantum computer, but this is also a platform for the exchanging experience, let's say, exchanging the knowledge and, let's say, the support for the quantum computing applications. The consortium, as I mentioned, consists of 13 partners from 8 countries, Czech Republic as a leader, and then let me mention also the Belgium. I try to read it in the alphabetic order because otherwise it's not so easy, 8 countries. There is Denmark, Finland, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, and Sweden. So I am very pleased that IT Federation has been given the opportunity to continue its successful role of an operator or provider of the cutting-edge technologies. And my kind thanks goes to everyone who contributes to bringing the VLQ quantum computer into our building. So, thank you very much. And please, I would like to now invite to the stage a few distinguished guests who have accepted the invitation to our event. And they decided to join the celebration of launch of the VLQ quantum computer. The first guest is Mr. Anders Jensen, Executive Director of EuroHPC Joint Undertaking. Please, Anders, please come on the floor.
Thank you, Vit. And thank you for the invitation. And I can assure you this is not just a big day for IT for innovation or for Czech. It's a big day for Europe. I do have to start by saying I was supposed to be preceded by my good colleague, Dr. Gustav Kalper from the Commission. Unfortunately, he was going to join us online, and unfortunately, there's a very, very big roadwork between Belgium and Luxembourg that's just started. It's 17 kilometers long, and he's now having a closer look at it. So unfortunately, he is not able to join us this morning. I have quickly been given a set of notes, so I'm also going to cover what he would have wished to say. Maybe not in the same level of detail as he would have done, but I'm going to try and do my best. In general, I have to say, EuroHPC, we're fairly good at improvising. So I have to make the distinguish. So what is EuroHPC for those out there that may not know it? We are the implementing arm of the Commission's and Member States' policies on HPC and quantum, but we do not set policy. we get the joy of implementing it. So if Gustav had been here, one of the things that needs to be emphasized is just how important quantum is, not only to the Commission, but therefore also to EuroHPC in Europe. It is, and it has been said a number of times by the Executive Vice President, it is a key priority. It's seen, it's very much believed that quantum is key to contribute to the competitiveness of Europe going forward, as well as security and the sovereignty of Europe. And I think you've seen that in press statements, but also you will see that in the fact that right now there's quite a bit of discussion about further broadening the role of EuroHPC in order to support further actions on the quantum side. Why this is so important is because we do believe that Europe is actually in a leading position. So whilst we may need to catch up on a few other things when we are talking about European sovereignty, the key here is that we are actually in a leading position. So now it's about continuing to invest so that we do not fall behind compared to some of the other areas of the world. That's also been seen from the quantum strategy that was recently published by the Commission. You will, if you've dived into that, you'll see some key areas, and this is also where EuroHPC may well get a broader mandate in order for us to invest heavily in, or at least more in the field. Why we are doing this, and that also goes for why is EuroHPC doing this, it is really about trying to, well, it's twofold. First of all, we are investing in the devices in order to also invest in the industries or the companies that are building these devices. So hopefully we're creating a circle in which we fund a device, the device goes out there, the users come with feedback, the companies further enhance the different quantum computers, we all learn. And you will see that in the initiatives that was launched by EuroHPC. The key there was that we're trying to support as many different quantum technologies as possible. And I think it's fair to say that at this point in time, no one knows what the best way of building a quantum computer will be. There are a number of competing technologies. Maybe we'll find that for some applications, one technology is preferable over another. From the joint undertakings perspective and the governing board's perspective, the key has been, and we put that into the call, that we wanted diversity. So we did not want two of the same machines. We didn't even want two of the same technology. We wanted basically diverse technology. The idea being that if we get the different technologies in, then we can get the feedbacks from all the user base, we can start playing with them, we can get to know them better, and then hopefully over time, we'll find out what may be the right thing for which applications. The other thing that has been key from the beginning for both the Commission and therefore also for EuroHPC is this belongs with HPC. These two things are closely interlinked. The quantum technology promises to be very good at things that traditional computers are inherently very bad at. And I would even say vice versa. So it could be a marriage made in heaven. And therefore you will see all of these quantum computers that EuroHPC is funding will always be connected to a supercomputer in order to get those, harvest those benefits of the two technologies going together. If we look at it more from, you can say, my seat, EuroHPC, well, this is a great day. It's the second inauguration of a quantum computer. We had the pleasure of being in Poznan in Poland a little while ago, inaugurated a machine there. This is now the second one. I think that's also a testimony to IT for Innovation on how they've moved forward on this. And it's just really nice to see. I think I can say without insulting anyone that when the concept of us buying all of these machines some 24 months ago was starting to emerge, there was skepticism whether the industry was ready. But it's been amazing to see over the course of the project how things have matured, and we're now starting to see products being delivered, and one of them being here. So I'm full of comfort that the other 4 machines that we are still waiting on for the initial bunch, but equally we have 2 more coming, which have been approved by the governing board, and we have 2 from a former project. There will be a lot of different quantum computers that will be available in the short term to the users across Europe. At this point in time, the joint undertaking, together with member states, have actually invested close to 100 million euros in quantum computers. So we're not talking about small money here. There's a significant investment going in order to try and broaden the knowledge and usage of quantum computers and to get the deeper understanding of the different technologies. So if we look at the machine that we are here to inaugurate, I mean, this is also a unique technology compared to the other 6 that we currently have on order. You already saw the buzzwords on the slides going in, so it stole my thunder. But basically, it's based on superconducting qubits. But what is unique about this machine is this concept of the star-shaped topology. I'm sure speakers after me will explain to you what that actually means. But in essence, as I understand it, the uniqueness here is that the 24 qubits that's in there are actually all able to interact directly. Whereas in other technologies, you would have to do things on moving things around. And again, we need to learn which technologies, which topologies might be the better ones. And then the other thing about this particular architecture is that the individual qubits are, when we look across, they're at least of a very high fidelity. And so for things which is what everyone's talking about, the next step is error correction, different error correction schemes. This may actually be one of the machines that has something good to offer on that. But again, I'll leave it for other people who have much more knowledge on these things to discuss that. So, as I said, all of our quantum computers, they are on purpose connected to a supercomputer, and so this quantum computer will be connected to Carolina. And I also have to say that gives me great relief, because Carolina is a very well-respected machine in the European ecosystem. And that's not just because the machine itself is great, it's also because IT for Innovation and the team around it is providing fantastic support to the user base. And it gives me comfort that if that level of support can continue as we embark on this quantum mission, I'm sure that we will have some very satisfied users and some good science coming out of it. Of course, you mentioned the LUMI consortium. I have to mention that as well, because you can say the LUMI consortium from a EuroHPC point of view, it's should we say, the shining example of a consortium, because it's so big. I mean, this is, again, the fact that so many countries have been able to come together. For those of you that are not aware, I mean, the way the joint undertaking works is essentially every time the joint undertaking pays €1, someone else pays €1. And all of these countries managed to get together in the LUMI consortium, which meant LUMI could become, and when we first went on the top 500, it was number 3 in the world. I mean, and that could only be done because that much money came together and was joined by the money of the union. I mean, and when we set out to do EuroHPC, that was exactly the mission at that time, was to put Europe back on the map for supercomputers. And I think with LUMI, we managed definitely to do that, and a lot of good science has come out of that. However, we should not forget the likes of Carolina. We have a number of smaller machines, not small, they're just smaller in the EuroHPC network, and they are really well respected and also producing really good science. So thank you to the whole team for that. One of the things, the next step now for not only the machine we have in Poznan, but also for this quantum computer, is we still need to go through the formalities of acceptance testing and so on. As soon as we're done with that, the plan, and this is why the joint undertaking is investing in this, we'll let users loose on it. So that will be the next really fantastic adventure, is to see how we pull that off together. But a little sneak preview, we'll next week at the user day. I don't know why, but they've basically, well, I know why, but they're very brave. We're actually planning to demonstrate the quantum computer live for all of our users at the user day. I'm very much looking forward to that. And then after that, we'll open up to users. So with that, I mean, thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you for all the good work that's been done.
Yeah. Anders.
I was given one instruction, okay? One instruction.
Thank you very much, Anders. So, and now let me invite another distinguished guest, who is His Excellency Pasi Olavi Tuominen, Ambassador of Finland to the Czech Republic. Please, floor is yours.
Mr. Rector, Honorary Consul, ladies and gentlemen, vážené dámy, vážení pánové, dovolte mi pár slov česky. Jsem velmi rád, že jsem byl pozván k uvedení do provozu nového kvantového počítače VLQ, konsorcia LUMI-Q, tady v Národním superpočítačovém centru v Ostravě. Je to skvělý příklad evropské spolupráce 8 zemí: Česka, Belgie, Danska, Finska, Norska, Nizozemska, Polska a Švédska. Ať se novému kvantovému počítači daří. Dovolte mi nyní pokračovat anglicky, abych rozuměl sám sobě, co říkám. Ladies and gentlemen, in fiction, everything is more faster than in real life. In Dan Brown's new book, Secrets of Secrets, there was already a quantum computer in Prague. It was located in the bedrock of the Folimanka Park, and without revealing much of the book, which I do recommend, the story of that quantum computer was not very long. So I wish that this quantum computer will be more endurant than the fictitious one. Now on more serious points. Ladies and gentlemen, today technology sits at the heart of foreign and security policy. This is driven by accelerating technological development and by growing role of technology as a tool of geopolitical and economic competition. This technological transformation creates new opportunities to boost the economy and people's well-being, but it also poses challenges to competitiveness, national security, democracy, and human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to mention a few of Finland's strengths. Our internationally renowned technology ecosystems, long-term commitment to basic research, strong industrial base, and vibrant community of high-tech growth companies form the foundation of our influence. Finland's strong technological sector include wireless networks, artificial intelligence, microelectronics, photonics, quantum technology, new materials, and biotechnology. The importance of the space sector, dual-use products, and the defense industry is growing. Finland is well positioned to advance the digital and green transitions globally. Today, we mark an important milestone in quantum computing as we inaugurate the new VLQ quantum computer. V for VSB, L for LUMI-Q, and Q for quantum computing. A name that underlines how closely Finland and Czechia are connected in this field. And in particular, because the quantum computer is produced by IQM from Finland. VLQ will integrate with Karolina here in Ostrava, the most powerful supercomputer in the Czech Republic, and also with LUMI in Finland, all parts of the same EuroHPC family that connects Czechia and Czech and Finnish excellence. The IT for Innovation's National Supercomputing Center strengthens Ostrava's role as a Central European innovation hub, and I am positive it creates new opportunities for Finnish-Czech student exchanges, joint PhDs, and industrial pilots, turning computing capacity into competitive edge. I wish you every success and look forward to continued excellent cooperation in the field of quantum computing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for these kind words, and please let me just now invite Professor Igor Ivan, Rector of VSB Technical University of Ostrava.
HPV. That's the only few words that I know in Finnish. I just learned them. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, it's a big honor for me to stand here as rector of VSB Technical University of Ostrava. And I will start with something different that I prepared, because during your speech, Vitek, I was thinking about these three letters. I know what they mean, but I was thinking, okay, the V, the letter V, can be something related to Vondrag's family, because that's the first letter of your surname. And I saw here also your brother, Ivo Vondrag, who is here and who is the father of the supercomputing center. And I can say that, Ivo, you were the beginning of high-performance computing era, and Vid is in the beginning of quantum computing era. So, do you have any other brothers or sisters?
It must be sufficient, I think so, those two technologies. So.
Maybe we can clone you. No, but it's not. I have to say that it's not about Vondrag's family. It's about the whole team, about a lot of people who are behind the scene, who are the employees of IT for Innovation National Supercomputing Center. But it's also about the employees of the whole university. And I would like to take this opportunity and thank them all for their huge effort and huge success that we are now celebrating. So please give them a big applause.
Okay.
But this is not the end. It's
only
the beginning of my speech. No. I will be fast. I would like to continue in my speech. I don't want to speak about infrastructure. I want to speak about people, because the quantum computer itself, what is a big milestone for the university, for the city, for the region, for the whole country, and take us to the Champions League of research activities worldwide. But it's still only a piece of metal, sorry. It's a machine, and the machine itself, it's useless without people. And I'm glad that our university wants to help to improve the situation, because we have started a brand new study program at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science focused on quantum informatics. So we want and we have to do our role, not only to run this infrastructure, but to let's say, bring new brains, new talents, new possible employees who will be able to make use of this important technology that we are celebrating today and running today. And I hope that this is not an easy task, because when I was discussing with some of you here in this auditorium, I tried to answer the question, what is it about? I agree with you, I'm not an expert on this. You are expert on this. I know that this is a big step forward, big challenge and big, let's say, chance for the whole university to be on the map. Not on the map of the Moravian Silesian region, but be on the map of Europe, be on the globe. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing this big, important milestone of the whole university. And I'm looking forward for the future collaboration with all of you. Thank you for coming, and thank you, It.
Thank you very much. So please now allow me just to invite another guest, who is Petr Kavalíř, Special Envoy for Quantum Technologies of the Government of the Czech Republic.
So, first of all, let me say that I should convey greetings from our Minister Marek Ženíšek, Minister of Science and Technology, who unfortunately cannot be here today. Almost everything has already been said, so I'll be pretty short. So first of all, I consider this event to be a milestone, not only for the Czech Republic, as was already said, but also for the Europe. But I would say that for the Czech Republic, it is the event of the century, for sure. But this wouldn't be possible without cooperation of many outstanding partners. First of all, LUMI-Q consortium. It again proved that together, if we are working together, we can achieve more than if we work alone. And this is the proof of it. And thanks to the consortium. Of course, DG Connect was very helpful with its continuous support of digitalization and support of HPC, support of quantum computing and AI, and also with they were instrumental in developing and building the Quantum Europe strategy. Of course, IQM, the company that allowed us with its technologies to implement the computer here, and it was already mentioned the team of IT4I and all who participated in this. I can say that we will continue supporting these activities and developing and building quantum technologies in the Czech Republic, but not only in the Czech Republic. We are very glad that we belong to the family, European family, and we will build the ecosystem within the Europe as well. Thank for that. Let's celebrate today, and let's take it also as inspiration for further development, faster development, and most importantly, for cooperating together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now it's the time just also to invite to the stage also the representative of the supplier of our quantum technology, who is Mr. Mikko Välimäki, CEO of the IQM Quantum Computers. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you. And I'd like to start with thanking LUMI-Q Consortia, EuroHPC joint undertaking for their trust. We are very humble and proud to be here today, being able to inaugurate the system here at IT for Innovations. We see it's a partnership. It's a long-term partnership. Every quantum computer we have built and delivered has been a major accomplishment, a major project, and we really celebrate every system installed. Our company, IQM, we are 100% focused on building quantum computers today. And how we see ourselves, we are in a very interesting position in the market today. We are one of the leaders, definitely worldwide, building quantum computers. We are the best funded company in quantum computing across Europe. We recently announced a new funding round, Series B, more than 300 million new funding in the company, and we already have about $500 million funding raised total. That's a lot of money, and it also tells something about what it takes to build quantum computers in this early market today. And every user, every installation really counts. With all this money, we have been able to build a company in Europe, headquartered in Finland, where we have more than 200 people. But we are not just a Finnish company, we are kind of a European project. We have in Germany almost 100 people, R&D center in Munich, and we also have new sites across Europe in other locations as well. The market here in quantum has also developed very fast. All these 7 years our company has been out there. We are currently competing globally. We have the first systems also delivered in Asia, also in United States. In Europe, we have 6 different countries where our systems have been installed. And we are really competing on the world stage, mainly today, against American companies. And while quantum is very important from the government perspective, sovereignty perspective, and we really thank the European Union's visionary approach of investing in quantum technologies, we have to understand that fundamentally, I think at least myself, the market is not going to be fundamentally different in the long term compared to other technologies. Like in AI, like in internet technologies, American companies have still the advantage of the funding system what they have. The day we announced this 300 million funding a few weeks ago, the next day an American competitor announced a 600 million funding. A few days later, another American competitor announced a 1 billion funding. And that is the market of quantum computing today. It's very competitive, highly competitive. But that said, the start what we have in Europe is very promising. We have also said, and now it's been proved by third-party market research, that IQM, our company, has sold and delivered more quantum computers over the past 12 months than any of our competitors, no matter of the funding and R&D base what they have. And that said, I like to go back to the beginning. Every user, every computer counts. Our goal is to build a platform for developers and researchers together with every user. Our whole market is here in Europe. We really are happy to see the computer also here and look forward of building bigger systems in the future together with every user we have across Europe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now I received quite good information that Mr. Gustav Kalbe managed to get to his office from a really terrible traffic jam between Brussels and Luxembourg, and so it's my honor just to ask him for some message. Mr. Gustav Kalbe, Director of Digital Excellence and Science Infrastructure at the European Commission. So please, Gustav.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you can hear me loud and clear from Luxembourg. So it's very important that I pass your message from the side of the Commission. I mean, we are sorry that we could not be with you in this very festive moment, which marks a milestone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, because I didn't get an acknowledgement. No, it's a very important milestone that we're celebrating here today. It's a good time to pause a bit to think about what we are achieving and what this installation operation of the quantum computer in your site will enable. And I have also to say that for me, very personally, it's a great moment because I started in 1999 in the Commission when we launched the worldwide first program on quantum including quantum computing, where at the time it was more science fiction. We were dreamers. We were not taken too serious, but it's so refreshing to see now that just 2 decades or a bit more than 2 decades later, we have now realized the dream. We are at the age of making quantum practical and making this accessible to, let's say, the normal people that are not quantum physicists. What you are achieving now is something that is very well inscribed in the quantum strategy of the European Union that we published in July. You're filling a core building block that has at least 3 major objectives. The first one is take the quantum computer, put it into service, and give any potential user, be it a scientist, be it a public body, be it an industrial actor, the possibility to get used with the technology and see how this new computing capabilities in the future will help with this particular problem, with this business case, and advancing the digitalization of our society, of industry, of our economy. It's also a clear sign that in Europe we have the excellence, we have the knowledge, we have the skills, we have the industrial tissue, we have all what it takes to bring those very delicate, very complex computers to life and convince the public that we are no longer dreamers. This is now a reality, and you have no idea how much time I have to sometimes convince people that are not from the field that quantum is a reality, but as soon as they see the quantum computer standing there and buzzing and being operated, they start opening eyes and say, wow, we're not only at the age of quantum now, but also Europe is very much in the lead on this quantum. And that's why I'm also so proud for you that you take the courage. You have been one of the first to deploy the quantum computer within the EuroHPC network, which will enlarge the accessibility and radiation of this quantum computer to a much larger set of potential users, and building now really the future capabilities that we need in quantum. Of course, we have to recognize that for the moment, the quantum computers are still modest in performance, but they are turnkey, they're commercially available, and sufficiently elaborate to start testing for which use cases a quantum computer makes sense and for which it might be an overkill. So that in 3-5 years from now, when we have the next generation of quantum computers that will be fully integrated, fully operational with the right performance level with the HPC computers, will help us on 2 fronts with the current AI uptake or the AI development that we have. The first thing is, if you look at the gigafactories we're planning to establish, the power consumption in the long run will be killing us. And here with the quantum computers, we can drastically reduce the power consumption. It is also a much, much smarter way to use the quantum computers for this massive parallel computation that we're now doing with hundreds and thousands of GPUs, and reduce this to the size of a tabletop device that will have the same computational performance. And therefore, I would like to close my introduction, my speech here, by congratulating again the computing center, by congratulating your country of having now a quantum computer. And as I always say, any self-respecting computing center in the future without a quantum computer will not be competitive. Thank you for your attention and to your understanding. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Thank also to all our distinguished guests for their kind words. And now we are at the moment when we can symbolically start the first application on our quantum computer. Please, can we put on the screen the interface? Okay, so now we can see the button start. And please start computation. No, nothing happening. Ah, it works. It's green, and you can see right now every job is being processed. Okay, wow, and simulation is complete. So now you can see the probabilistic distribution of the quantum states coming from our quantum computer. So that's the time really to toast for the first job run on our quantum computer. Yeah, that's a sort of the quantum hello world. So thank you, gentlemen. So maybe I can ask you, but it will be better just for you just to see what will be presented in the net if you go back to your seat. Yeah. And now it's a time just to unveil a little bit about the technical details of the quantum computer. And we have here Branislav Jancik, who is the director of our supercomputing services. Now I think that we have to maybe rename this division also of the supercomputing and quantum services maybe. And he is also the coordinator of the LUMI-Q consortium. So please, Branislav, just tell us a little bit what is VLK about, and I wouldn't say deep details, but some details what VLK means and what is installed in our center.
Thank you for the introduction. Basically, I would like to give you technical details, but I was told not to, so I will only be superficial, and then there will be a chance to get a lot more technical details. But before I go to the techniques, let me put the VLK into a perspective a little bit. As Anders already said, the EuroHPC JU works, our partners from EuroHPC JU work very strongly on augmenting the EuroHPC, the already very rich HPC ecosystem across the Europe with a set of quantum computers. At the moment, there are 10 quantum computers in making, and the others are probably coming. All of them are very, very diverse from the technological point of view, which is really excellent. And we are super proud to be on the forefront of this effort with the VLK quantum computer, with its unique technology, augmenting what is being installed. All right, next slide, please. Let me tell you about this story a little bit, how it started for us. Well, I don't have the details here, but it actually started in one nice restaurant, beer restaurant in Hamburg. But basically what happens is that there was a call by the EuroHPC to install and deploy and host quantum computers, to which we answered. We put together a very nice consortium on a footprint of the LUMI consortium, originally 9 countries, today 8, but still Germany is still involved in a very related project. And we put our efforts into it, and we answered the call by the JU, and that call was hopefully well received. And we signed the hosting agreement more or less next year. And since then, we worked very hard to provide the RFP and to work and to deploy up to the moment where we were really able to sign the contract with IQM. That was more or less exactly 1 year ago. And now, 1 year from then, we are there. We actually are very close to finally accept the quantum computer. What is very important is that we share the costs. These efforts are funded half by EuroHPC JU and half by the JU, half by the LUMI-Q consortium. And of course, it's very visible on the map. The consortium covers most or a very large part of the Europe, but I would say much more important than covering the Europe geographically is that I believe that the consortium covers much of the Europe from the expertise point of view. And we hope that we will be able to capitalize on this combined expertise that we have there. Next slide, please. So 1 year after, and voila, we do have the quantum computer sitting in the computer room running and being actually in state where we can set the quantum states the way we have. Next slide, please. What we have there in the quantum computer is we have a 24-qubit quantum computer in a star-shaped topology. And this is very important, but the details will be provided later. What we have there is that quantum computers, you know, they have a limited, sort of the quantum calculation have a limited lifespan. We can only go as far as the coherence times allow us. And in most of the quantum computers, you spend much of this time by shuffling the qubits around or shuffling the populations of the wave function that are on the qubits around, and much of this time can be lost. In this topology, we are actually saving much of this time because we have a star-shaped topology where only few of these swap operations are needed, and that really improves our capability to run, that really makes us able to execute longer quantum circuits. What is also very important is that the quantum computer is going to be connected, or is already, actually I did the calculation already where we show that this is connected to Carolina supercomputer, and not only to Carolina, it will be ultimately connected to many other supercomputers, both across the LUMI-Q consortium as well as throughout the EuroHPC supercomputing environment. And yes, next slide, please. This is how we do. This is one of the approaches that we explore. And this seems to be already very successful. The example that you have seen when VIT ran the first symbolic calculation, which was really a hello world, that was already done through a product that we develop here. It's a Lexis platform. It's a really nice platform that allows to run a quantum HPC and cloud computing from a very nice web-based user interface, and have it as a service across multiple modalities, across multiple installations, even in Europe. This also allows us to specify very complex workflows where the quantum computers and classical computers can interact. This is one of the ways. There are other ways to do this, but this is one very elegant way. And it really allows us to work with the quantum computer. And not only that, it allows us to integrate the quantum computer within, next slide please, within the European Federation platform in order to bring this experience in a unified way practically across the EuroHPC environment. So we are very proud about that. The quantum computer is there and is actually running. We will be sharing the access very soon with our users. However, if you want to know more about the quantum computer, next slide please. Yeah, I forgot almost. The access to the quantum computer is very important. The access to the quantum computer depends or is based on the funding. And of course, 50% of the quantum computer is being funded by the EuroHPC-JU, and the 50% is funded by the consortium countries. So this is, here you see symbolically how we time share the computer. There is a 50% EuroHPC share, where our partners from the EuroHPC will use the access to the computer via their established mechanisms such as benchmark development, regular, and many other access mechanisms, which I can actually strongly recommend because most of them are very straightforward, very easy to access, relatively low barrier, and significant resources are received. But not only that, we have the national shares from the LUMI-Q consortium, and there basically what happens is that each LUMI-Q participant has its own national share, along with the idea that the owner decides the resources, so that the national shares can be decided on the national level according to the national rules. Czech Republic has a very significant share, and other significant share is, for example, from Poland, but we have a number of other partners. In Czech Republic, we already know how we are going to distribute the resources. We will include the resources from VLQ in our e-infrastructures as access calls mechanisms, where we have the open access calls where we will include these computational resources 3 times a year. On top of that, we'll of course call for the thematic access, which will really focus on the quantum computing, as well as the fast track access, which actually allows you to get significant resources very fast without too much waiting, and benefit from the quantum computer more or less immediately. I'm sure that very similar mechanisms will be there available from the other national approaches as well. And the last slide, please. I need to advertise. This was very superficial technical introduction into the quantum computer. There is a deep dive ready. It will be delivered, it will be here after we finish on the second floor. Will be given by Frank Deppe from IQM, one of the head scientists. And I asked Frank not to spare the audience any technical detail. He is really allowed to go as deep as he needs. So if you really want to understand how the transmon qubits work and how the entire quantum computer is put together, please visit the lesson at 13:30 today. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Branislav. And for those who are not really interested in the deep technical details, we have also the presentation in our showroom. Just, let's say, some lightweight description, how it works and so on. So don't hesitate just to go there, and just you can see the work there. And now is the time just to invite here Marek Lampard, who is head of our quantum computing lab. And he is going to just to lead the panel discussion about the quantum computing and so on. So please, Marek, floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marek Lampard. I'm head of quantum computing lab here at IT for Innovations, Technical University of Ostrava. And it's my privilege to moderate this panel on what VLQ and quantum computing bring to European science and industry. Before I introduce our distinguished panelists, let me set the stage with a short overview of quantum computing applications. Let me start. Quantum computers are here. We are also here. Quantum computers are here not to replace classical machines overnight. Instead, they promise to tackle very specific problems where classical approaches hit a wall. From simulating molecules for new medicines and materials to optimizing logistics, finance, or energy system, to advancing artificial intelligence. In fact, this is not just a dream. Some of these problems are not just abstracts. Some of these problems are what we are really developing, are working on now here. Like optimization of energy grids, fraud detection, or forecasting of complex systems. These are examples that we are really developing. Europe is now entering a new phase with the EuroHPC joint undertaking, and also with quantum computer VLQ. This is not only about building powerful machines, it is about creating a whole ecosystem of research, innovation, and applications that will support both science and industry. With this background in mind, let us hear from our people who are making this future a reality. So please welcome to the stage Petr Kavalíř, Special Envoy for Quantum Technology of the Government of the Czech Republic. René Chatwell, Program Manager NJ, EuroHPC JU. Thank you. Sylvia Bartelde Vandetal, Chief Commercial Officer IQM Quantum Computers. Thank you. Michel Fauci Gianni, Head of Unit Quantum Technology, Microtechnology and Nanoscience, Chalmers University of Technology. Martin Friák, Czech Academy of Science, Czech Republic. Marius Stelzel, Head of Laboratory of Quantum Computing at Cifronet, AGH. Okay, so welcome our guests, and I would like now to invite you, our panelists, to briefly introduce themselves and share why are you personally engaged in this quantum journey. Peter, please, you can start.
So hello again. My name is Peter Cavalier, and I'm responsible for coordinating quantum ecosystem within the Czech Republic and also interacting with the EU actions and EU ecosystem. I'm especially glad that I can do this because the community in the Czech Republic and also in Europe is really unique, and I can see that all the people, researchers, even students, everyone wants to cooperate and everyone wants to push this field forward. So that's, for me, it is a pure joy to do it, and I believe that we will stay on the wave in the Czech Republic even for the future.
Thank you. René?
So good afternoon, I'm René. I'm the program manager for quantum computing at EuroHPC, and how I'm involved in VLQ. I was overseeing the procurement, and now I'm also then managing the implementation of the system from a policymaker perspective or from an implementing body.
Thank you.
I'm Sylvia Bartel de Weidenthal. I'm Chief Commercial Officer at IQM Quantum Computers, and I'm here because I believe that this is the most transformative technology that we have, and I think we don't even appreciate the impact it will deliver on our communities, on the countries, on our children and businesses.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michele Fucci-Giannelli. I'm a researcher at Chalmers University in the quantum computing group, and I'm responsible for everything software that we do with quantum computers, and I'm part of the LUMI-Q consortium, and I represent Sweden in the consortium. Oh, and of course, as a researcher, that I want to use these machines, I want to understand them better, and I want to use them to solve problems across all the fields that have been mentioned in the slide that was behind us.
I'm Mariusz Sterzel. I work for the Supercomputing Center in Poland, Kraków, and I'm responsible for the implementation of the quantum technologies at our center. But I would like to say a little bit more. My former background is in science. I was quantum chemist. I was trained as a quantum chemist, and I was always struggling with the inability of the supercomputers to provide good results for the quantum chemistry. Therefore, my aim here is actually to bring this quantum computing en masse to scientists so they can use this excellent technology for their research. Thank you.
Very well, my name is Martin Friák. I work as a group leader at the Institute of Physics of Materials, Czech Academy of Sciences in Brno. And I am solid-state physicist by education, theorist. We perform quantum mechanical calculations. And we've used to do it for 25 years using classical supercomputers. We are very happy that IT4I is here because we've done a lot of calculations using the infrastructure here. But the thing is that, as you all know, classical computers, they are hitting certain ceilings, limits of what they can or can't. In our group, we are developing materials following guidance by quantum mechanical calculations, and we are limited to, say, hundreds of atoms. So my dream is to somehow go above this ceiling, fulfill this saying that only sky is the limit, and in my opinion, it's quantum computers, this technology that will actually bring us that up, that will allow us to really develop, for example, new materials.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. It is clear that each of you brings a unique perspective to the table, from policy to technology to users, communities. Now let us dive into the discussion. To set the scene, let me ask each of you, do you think quantum computers have the potential to complement or even replace classical supercomputers within this decade?
Well, as I have Mike, so no, maybe Peter. No,
You are an expert.
Oh.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, it's my belief. Absolutely, I put all my money on this bet. So I really, this is the thing. And I would like to stress out, it was mentioned here, that it's about hybrid schemes, right? So we are not so much replacing, but rather optimally using both technologies together. I think this is the future, and yeah, I think that will be also mentioned during today. But yes, I believe that it will be so.
And Mariusz?
You know, in my opinion, quantum computing will never replace the classical computing. The classical supercomputers will never fade away because quantum computers are dedicated for the specific task. So those two worlds will have to coexist to be complementary to each other. But within a frame of 10 years, I think we will see a breakthrough in quantum computing because, you know, 2 years ago when you would ask me this question, I would say, I have no idea, I don't think so. But looking through these 2 years, how the quantum computers have advanced, how much effort has been spent to produce error-prone quantum computers, I would say it might be less than 10 years to actually get quantum advantage.
Okay, thank you very much. Michel?
I share completely what they just said. Quantum computers will never replace our normal computers, like the GPU or the FPGA didn't replace the normal CPU. You will not have a quantum computer in your laptop. You will see why once you see the VLQ. But yes, they will work together. And in a sense, that's what we are here trying to do as a consortium, to make sure that this talking to each other is optimal. And that's really one of the questions that we need to work on.
So I have to agree, I'm not a scientist, I need to agree with the scientists. However, I think there will be this stage of hybrid, as you said, but until we reach quantum advantage. But I think what will accelerate it is the use of AI in both ways. So AI will impact the quality of quantum computers, how we program them, how we use software, how deep we go, also with building our circuits and automating certain tasks. But I think there will be also a big impact of quantum on AI, because then AI needs a lot of energy, a lot of data centers. There's the amount of energy that's limited, and we will have to make use of those machines. So yes, I agree that there will be hybrid, and as you said, but I think it will be accelerated towards quantum advantage. Now, having said that, I think in 10 years, there will be fully operating fault-tolerant quantum machines, and I think most of the quantum companies have that on their roadmaps already. So there will be certain applications that will be running exclusively on quantum machines, especially when it comes to defense. That's my bet.
Okay, thank you. René?
So I think the quantum computer will not replace the classical HPC system in the next decade, at least for these first and second generation systems that we have. There is a huge demand of traditional compute power for all kinds of pre and post processing that is necessary, and it is only if in the advent of full tolerant quantum computing on a larger scale, where we can then think of maybe replacing or transitioning from hybrid machines to full quantum machines.
Peter?
Well, with what have been said, of course, hybrid computing, AI combined, it will probably not within the 10 years replace classical computing, but I would like to say that we are at the stage that with the current development we cannot see in the future. I think that the development is much faster, and maybe there will be some breakthroughs that we cannot predict right now. So I believe that the technology is developing so fast that we should be ready for that. On the other hand, we should also be very careful about the adoption of our societies, because the development of the technology is much faster than the pace of the adoption within our societies. Not speaking about education, but maybe we'll mention that later.
Okay, thank you very much for your positive thoughts. I think that we will have very powerful devices very soon. So let us start with the policy perspective. Europe is now investing heavily in quantum infrastructure. To our policymakers, what are the main expectations regarding new EuroHPC quantum computers, including VLQ? How will they support both academia and industry? Peter.
Well, there are huge expectations, not from the academia point of view, but also from the industry. And I believe that the combination and bringing them together will bring the most positive results. But I should again mention the education. I believe that this consortium will allow new students or new talents. They don't have to be students, new talents to adapt quantum computing, quantum technologies, and use it for the sake of our society. So the main advantage, in my opinion, right now is that we will have some tools or machines where we can learn how to use it.
Thank you. René?
I think I can still use that microphone. So these first generation systems, Anders mentioned it, we are phasing in around between 6 to 8 systems over the course of the upcoming month or years, and they will serve as test beds. Test beds to integrate these systems into the classical HPC cycles, and also to understand how possible it will be for a deeper integration of the software stack into the full HPC workflow. And then we are deliberately collaborating with smaller and medium enterprises from Europe, because we think that the hosting entities are put in a very unique position also to facilitate this kind of deep integration into the classical HPC cycles. If we would, for example, bought these systems from outside of Europe, we would just get black box products, and all this facilitating of the full potential would not be possible.
Yeah, I understand. And what do you see as the biggest obstacle? Regulation, funding, or human resources?
So I mean, it's a difficult question. So on the human resource side, Europe has the highest per capita number of experts on quantum technologies. The biggest challenge here potentially is to allow sustainable career path for these experts in Europe and to maintain these experts in Europe. We are already doing this to some extent, also on a European level, training the next generation of quantum technology experts. And then it is really for industry to provide a pathway forward. And then on the funding side. So since we operate with taxpayer money, it's necessarily finite. And industry uptake is crucial in Europe to maintain this kind of momentum that we currently have.
Thank you. And Peter?
Well, I agree with that, the adoption within the community and within the small and medium enterprises is very important. Funding is important, and legislation as well, so I would say all of them can be supportive, and all of them can represent kind of obstacles on the way.
Okay, thank you. So now turning to the technology providers, Sylvia, let me ask you, what technological progress in quantum computing we can realistically expect in the next 5-10 years? Will it be about qubits, about scalability, about integration?
So I think the three will happen, actually, exactly. Qubit scalability, logical qubits, coherence stamps, that will change. That will come with better software integration, that will come with sort of way towards fault-tolerant quantum computers. But I think what's also going to happen is a little bit what René was saying, that if we have education, if we have the ecosystem of, HPC, what we are missing today in Europe, I think, is how that will impact our economies and competitive skills. Because what we have to do better as Europe is monetize that. Because we are operating with taxpayers' money, but we have to give back to society, we have to give back to our taxpayers, not to American taxpayers, European taxpayers. And what's really important is that with those, better quantum machines, with more logical qubits happening, with more, algorithms which are helping us with error correction and, risk mitigation and so on and so forth, we can already build the ecosystem of small, companies, startups, and give it to the hands of developers. If you give it to the hands of business people will always know how to monetize it, much better than scientists, with all due respect, and they will pay back again to societies, and that will be a fantastic circle. And I just wanted to say that I think the EuroHPC JU program is absolutely fantastic for it. We in the company have 50 nationalities out of 320 people. And there is no coincidence. It's a very well-planned strategy because you need all this diversity to build functioning quantum machine. And that's exactly what we need to implement for our societies, for building businesses and helping our businesses to have our own NVIDIAs and the first $1 trillion company in the next 5 to 10 years. We have to do it as Europe. I can't see why we cannot do it. So.
Okay, thank you. And in your view, what's the biggest bottleneck now? Hardware, algorithm, integration with classical HPC, maybe topology?
So we don't know which topology will be right one. We can research different topologies. We need, scientists like Frank and other scientists who are coming up with all these ideas and research and so on and so forth. I think the biggest, for businesses and for suppliers in Europe, the biggest challenge for us is that we do have to integrate everything with the suppliers from outside of Europe. So we are not fully independent, we are not fully sovereign, because we will do nothing without NVIDIA Kudaku, right? So that's one, I think, obstacle. The second obstacle is that it takes a long time. Companies like ours need to have revenue. We cannot function on grants. We have to function on revenue, and we are fighting with the largest $1 trillion companies on the planet. And that's where we need faster decision-making, more programs, upgrades, and we just need to be faster. I think we are just a little bit too slow for businesses, and we need to accelerate that, and I have full trust that we can do it. We can do it in Europe. And working together, I think we still in Europe work a little bit into our own countries. We have to be smarter, so that's why this consortium and programs like JU, they are fantastic, because we have all these nationalities working together. And yes, talent, we do have talent, but we need more talent. So yes, we need all the professors to educate. Maybe we don't have time to wait for 6 years for the next range of 5 PhDs. We need masters, we need people who will build those machines, we need software integrators, and we need platforms that are ready to be given to the hands of the developers. So that would be my ask.
Okay, thank you very much. Finally, let's hear from the users, Martin, Mariusz, Michel. Are you directly engaging in these machines? What applications could you run on VLQ soon? And what would be your dream quantum problem to solve? Now you can dream.
I can dream. I think that of all the topics up there, the one that, well, there are two. One is for the society. I think the medical application is, has really fantastic and perspectives. being able to develop a drug in days, weeks, instead of, because you can simulate it on a quantum computer rather than, years that it takes to develop a vaccine, or years. So that would be fantastic. But, a quantum computer can be an accelerator for science as well. My background is in high energy physics. I was working at CERN, and, having, that's all quantum, and you can use quantum machine to quantum simulate what you are seeing there, and that could be a fantastic acceleration for science itself. So if I can dream, that's what I would dream. Since I have the mic, I want also to touch 1 second on the policy. Maybe there's a question coming. But since I feel very much call in action from yes, university needs the policymakers to also, provide more money, essentially, to train more students, more people, and in our field, because, and it's very competitive as well, already at the PhD level. I mean, we get talented people, we don't have enough resources, and then the postdocs disappear because the Americans have more money. That's a common problem for us. So yes, when we were talking about career paths, we need higher salaries. That's the bottom line. So if you want a real expert, then maybe you want a postdoc with a few years of experience that can really lead some deep innovation in a company. Well, we need to pay it first, and the normal salary for a postdoc is not that competitive. Sorry.
No, definitely you are welcome, because this is just a discussion, and we can open all topics, and there are no limitations, and we are dreaming.
Okay, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, please.
So before I tell a little bit about my dreams, I would like to point out that we are at Cyfronet in a unique place, or space and time, like some used to say. So from one hand side, I work with the companies. I know what they are struggling with, what they would like to achieve in a short or long term. On the other hand, I am leading very small but young team of scientists, with Kasia being my chief scientist, but also with PhDs and PhD students, which are actually doing PhD while working at Cyfronet developing quantum software. On the other hand, I can also say that this master, as Sylvia was saying, is actually undergoing. So there are many universities where the master includes quantum computing as well. Also, my son, which is right now at the second year of the EU Master under EU Master program, he told me yesterday that he's having just the lectures with the quantum computing. So this is undergoing process. So at the same time, we at Cyfronet, we train new people, but also we respond to the needs of the companies. So this is happening right now. So I don't see danger, but that something will be wasted. It's more about this monetization, which Sylvia said. So how to take this knowledge, how to take this opportunity and make it useful. I see it's happening, especially in a finance sector. I see also great potential in the medicine, material science. Those are those fields. Once the quantum computers will be really number crunching systems, they will immediately provide valuable results and bring added value to the companies. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Please.
So, before dreaming, I'd like to stress out, it was mentioned here, the education, so it's crucial. And here I would like to mention something what I think was not said so clearly, that IT4I is actually educating users for, I think not 2 years, but even 3 years. So I remember that it was like, this is not like one afternoon, sometimes these are 3-day-long workshops. And so you are doing really great job
Thank you.
Preparing users. So actually users are already prepared of the center for having access to quantum computer. And it was a really great job done.
Maybe I can jump in. We started with this workshop 4 years ago. And nowadays we are training not only, let's say, our users, but also university students and secondary school students and also our industry partners. So we are trying to educate whatever is possible. Please continue.
Yeah, and there is one term which was not mentioned yet so clearly. So I'd like to say that what we are all waiting for is practical quantum advantage. So I think this is the moment when it happens, when also the companies suddenly realize that there is a great potential, and it's proved. Yeah, so people are waiting for a proof, and for clear evidence that this practical quantum advantage is here. And I'd like to say that for many years, so okay, we have some thesis at the universities and so on, so I have students and so on, but it's a big difference if you just classically simulate quantum computer or you have access to real hardware. So this is the point. And VLQ, this is one of these key elements if we want to really further develop also software. So really, it was mentioned not so much, I mean, this is like inauguration of a hardware, but it's the software that comes with it, and I think without access to hardware, we cannot develop properly the software. So it's really great. And yeah, my dreaming, okay, maybe.
Sylvia?
Maybe I can answer this one. So if you, with our machines, you have a test bed. You can actually do everything you require for your education, for your research, and so on and so forth. Software, hardware, if you have, I don't know, electronics, you can build the whole ecosystem around this. And this is something that I think Rena mentioned. We are not selling you a black box, because we believe in this whole ecosystem, education, and really staying, you know, with IP in Europe. That's critical. You can have IP on any of those elements. And I also wanted to address a little bit of this proof of fault-tolerant quantum machines. The question is, do we need fault-tolerant quantum machines for everything? Or what can we do? Can we do the IP creation before that? And can we be a little bit ahead? Because when you look at the QUIC, and the European Union is working a lot on the research and so on, if you look at the QUIC report from last year, Europe is on the 50th place, and that's actually IQM that has the most patents. The first 50 places is China and the USA. And the question is, why is that? So I want to challenge all of the scientists here. Don't wait for fault-tolerant quantum computing, but start creating and really filing those IPs in Europe immediately. And use the test beds to not use the black box that shifts over the ocean, but use it on the Czech soil or European soil so it stays with your taxpayers.
Okay, thank you for this recommendation. I will post it to my team at IT for Innovation, so they have another homework. And let me go back to our users. And what do you expect from both policy providers and policy makers, technology providers and policy makers, in order to actually be able to these machines use effectively?
If I have to say, I would say what I used to say in many places: we need better software. So we have to. I would like to ask the hardware providers, please provide also good quality software, so we can take over from this point and then build our own software packages and apply it for the given issues we have to solve.
Okay, Martin?
Yep. So it's just, we all know that, okay, there is some level of noise in the current hardware, but I personally see that as opportunity, exactly as you said. I don't want to wait. Yeah, so I don't want to wait 5 years when suddenly something is available and everyone jumps in. No, I want to be part of the process, of the progress of development of this software. And so this is what we do. And I think there is a lot what you can achieve. But okay, one has to work with real quantum hardware like VLQ. We will now have this opportunity to work with it and develop methods for error mitigation, reduction of noise, and so on, and algorithms which are robust enough to deliver the results. And so that is why I'm so happy that I'm sitting here today and that we have this first quantum computer in the Czech Republic, and we can really start working with real hardware.
Okay, thank you. Michel.
Well, I've already touched the policy maker point before, so let's address a bit the hardware. Well, we're not there yet. We all know that. Let's be honest. Nobody's there yet. We need better hardware to really have meaningful problems. So that's what we need. And we need better, also bigger, because people at the moment have been very much focused on small systems, and there's a lot to explore. And I think one of the great things of having already 24 qubits here is that this is already pushing the normal boundaries. People are used to work with smaller systems. This will open new opportunities, but we need the bigger system. I know it's in your roadmap. Everybody wants 8,000 qubits. Sorry, there's some echo now. So yeah, we need those big systems to, and then with those big systems, maybe, as you said, maybe we do fault tolerant, then we look for logical qubits, but maybe there are really interesting problems that we can really look at and use the low level, the physical qubits, to solve problems. And let me stress how important I still think it is, and that's a question, a point to both of you, to have this transparency. As users, we want to be able to see the system so that, as a researcher, we play with the system and we optimize it so that we make the most out of it. You will learn things. So, and this goes back to the strength of being in Europe. I think it's really, really important that we are in Europe. We need to learn to play as Europeans rather than Swedish or Italians or wherever. Otherwise, we will not win this race. Let me make a really good point where we are ahead of the others. And it is this integration. The Americans are not playing these games. They think that the quantum computers are not mature enough to be integrated with HPC. So we can be ahead of them. So once the bigger system will be online, we will be ready for them. We will not have to learn how to use them together. I think this is a really good point that policymakers should make to sell all, getting more money.
Okay, thank you for this point. Please, Sylvia.
I just wanted to add one more question, because you are absolutely right and 100% agree. And instead of having 10 institutes in Europe working on the next 20 qubits, 5 qubits, 2 qubits, that's what I meet in my clients. Everyone is developing 5 qubits, 10, 20, up to 30. I would propose to all the scientists and EuroHPC JU a program by which you get 300 qubits that we already have and make it into 10,000 millions of qubits and sponsor that and make it fault tolerant, because what I wouldn't want to have this talent sitting on 20 qubits when I need to compete with 10 million qubits probably in the next 5 years. And I'm not going to do it as a small IQM. Doesn't matter our evaluation. I need all of these scientists from Europe to help us build those machines. So I would propose that, and you have one program which is different topologies and different modalities of quantum, but maybe we need to take also this one topology, one modality, that we make it as big as the sky, as you said, and we need the whole Europe there. We need 50 nationalities to build a quantum computer, and maybe we need the whole Europe to build 10,000 or 1 million qubit machine, rather than 10 countries building 20 qubit quantum computers. Then we will have fault tolerant and everything you require.
Let me put one other hat I have. I'm also in the Open SuperQ Plus consortium, and the second SGA will be aiming at 1,000 qubits. So yes, but it's really expensive. The cost per channel is really, really high. So in a sense, the small system that you mentioned are there to test the technology, to lower all these costs, for example. So I would not completely definance and say that the low research is not useful, because it is. At the moment, nobody knows how to build a 10,000 qubit system. There's simply too many cables. I don't think you can. It's an incredible amount. Yeah, maybe you have some plans, but as of today, you would need to do a lot of R&D. As of today, you can't build 10,000. There's simply too many cables, and there's no fridge large enough to host them. So yes, we need both. We need research, we need the bigger system so that we play at a higher level. And we need the money for all of that, and to research to train the people. Because if you want to build a million quantum qubits, probably 200 people in IQM are not enough. Probably you need to get to 1,000. There are not 800 people available to hire tomorrow. That's also that true.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm reading a lot of information between lines, between words you are saying. But the message for me is just to be ambitious. And my feeling is that we are on the right way, that we have some capacities and also our dreams for which we can fight. So we are almost at the end of this session. Let's close with a quick round from everyone. Please complete the sentence. And we can start with you, Peter. By 2030, a quantum computer will be?
Ready.
Okay, thanks.
May I just add one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Because we have been talking about education, about industry, about science, but we forgot one quite important issue, and that is the security. And I'm really glad that I see in the audience the Vice Rector of the University of Defense of the Czech Republic, and that the University of Defense and Army is talking about dual use of these technologies for our defense. So I think it's quite important, and even more important in these days.
Thank you. By 2030, a quantum computer will be
a regular device for end users to use, but it's also very important to manage expectations here, because a quantum computer will then not be ready to boot Android or iOS.
Sylvia?
Will be fault tolerant and useful for businesses and society.
Great.
You're stealing all the good words. Well, let me stress European and useful for science. That's the dream.
Thank you. Mariusz?
For 2030, it will, hopefully, will be the number crunching machine I'm using on a daily basis.
Fine.
Yes, and users will enjoy quantum advantage, practical quantum advantage in, say, quantum chemistry, or in my field, quantum physics and materials.
So thank you very much. Thank you all for these visions. It is clear that quantum computing is not just about physics and engineering, but about shaping the future of science, industry, and society in Europe. On behalf of all of us, I want to thank our panelists for their insights, and you, the audience, for your attention and engagement. Quantum computing is moving fast, and Europe is determined to play a leading role, I hope, and I believe. And I'm proud that IT for Innovation at the Technical University of Ostrava and its quantum computer VLQ take part of this journey. Enjoy the rest of the event, and let's continue building this quantum future together. Thank you very much. No, teď mám 3 mikrofony najednou.
So it seems that this is the end of this inauguration, but this is not completely true. It's the end of the just moderated part, and now you can enjoy some refreshment. Then you can also visit our showroom just to see VLK's quantum computer. And I would remind you also the very technical deep dive into the VLK quantum computer in the room number 207 in the second floor. So thank you very much, all of you, just coming here, celebrate the VLK quantum computer, and enjoy the rest of the stay here.